Governor Jay Inslee is set to make an announcement during our 5 p.m. news class tonight. We don't know exactly what he plans to announce, but he is set to lay out a plan for Washington State's recovery from the coronavirus outbreak. We will carry that announcement live at 5 o'clock. We'll also be live streaming it on the KREM 2 Facebook page as well as on KREM.com. Good evening and thank you for watching KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off tonight. Let's get right to our top story this afternoon as South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee plan to reopen sectors of their economies. Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward says she is pushing for a regional approach in Washington.
We're now discussing potential approaches to reverse that process by modifying current statewide restrictions, first in regions where local data supports it.
The modifications could include allowing activities that are naturally physically distant, such as fishing, industries that operate with strict safety protocols, and sectors that can easily implement new procedures. She added that the approach could also allow for a pause or temporary tightening should a spike in coronavirus cases occur. Woodward also added that the statewide stay-at-home order will likely be extended and urged people in the meantime to remain patient and strong in their efforts. As of today, Spokane County is reporting 2 new cases of the coronavirus. That brings the total to 315 confirmed cases. 2 new deaths are reported today, bringing the total to 19. Spokane County Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz says though the overall numbers are encouraging, he is not confident as to when social distancing restrictions can be lifted.
I wish I had an easy answer. I wish I could say tomorrow or next week. And what it's going to look like, we don't know yet.
Dr. Lutz added that reopening the local economy is a conversation that is shaped by the science as well as a lot of the social factors. Nationwide, 3 southern U.S. states are moving to reopen parts of their economies this week. South Carolina beaches will reopen today. Some stores reopen Monday afternoon, only 2 weeks after closing them in Georgia. Certain businesses will be allowed to reopen as early as Friday. This includes gyms, fitness centers, and hair salons. Restaurants will be allowed to open in a week, and Tennessee's stay-at-home order will expire on April 30th. Governor Bill Lee also says the vast majority of businesses will reopen on May 1st. Meantime, in Washington, a model by UW's Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation reports that some of the state's stay-at-home measures can be relaxed possibly after May 18th. But a University of Washington professor warns that's too soon.
So while it's encouraging that the IHME model is predicting that we could have 0 cases by mid-May, I wouldn't really count on that given the way that whole model is set up.
University of Washington biology professor Carl Bergstrom studies the spread of infectious diseases. He isn't involved in the IHME model, but said he doesn't believe it's equipped to tell us when we're able to go back out into public. He says the model is really designed to forecast healthcare needs, and that's the sort of its primary purpose. And a new Washington Post University of Maryland poll finds a majority of Americans do not think it'll be safe for gatherings of 10 or more people before the end of June. Democratic leaders say they have reached a compromise with the White House on a nearly $500 billion stimulus package.
Staff was up all night writing. There are still a few more I's to dot and T's to cross, but we have a deal, and I believe we'll pass it today.
The bill will likely include $310 billion in additional funds for the Paycheck Protection Program. $125 billion of that will be reserved for rural and minority-led businesses. It also provides $75 billion for hospitals and $25 billion for COVID-19 testing. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who you just heard from, says the final sticking point was the money for the testing. Are you a Social Security recipient with children? You'll need to file by Wednesday in order to receive an extra $500 in your stimulus check. But what if you didn't file a 2019 or 2018 tax return? You will need to provide the IRS with your dependent information in order to receive that additional funding. Otherwise, the dependent payments will come with their 2020 tax return. Recipients with children should file that information on the IRS online non-filer tool by Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Across the U.S., a third of American renters did not pay rent for the month of April, and it's causing a strain between renters and their landlords. Meanwhile, Washington State has filed its first lawsuit enforcing Governor Jay Inslee's proclamation on halting evictions during the coronavirus. The state sued a Nevada-based property management company for allegedly violating the state's moratorium on residential evictions.
From our standpoint, though, the pattern of unlawful conduct over so many weeks is so egregious that we need to hold them accountable for that. They've put these tenants through so much stress and strain. It's really it's unconscionable what they did, and they need to be held accountable for it.
The lawsuit alleges JRK Residential, which operates 4 apartment complexes in Pierce, Snohomish, and Kitsap counties, issued notices to pay or vacate back in April to at least 14 Tacoma residents. You might have noticed lower prices at the pump. That's because the cost of oil has dropped significantly as a result of the outbreak and the stay-at-home orders. This morning, crude oil prices dropped for the first time ever. The biggest reason prices have dropped: the demand for oil has plummeted. Fewer people are driving due to the stay-at-home orders in most states. The president says he is working with the federal government to provide financial aid to American oil and gas companies. New today, the FDA has approved its first at-home coronavirus test kit. The kit is made by LabCorp. It allows a person to collect their own samples with a specific Q-tip style cotton swab at home. However, the tests do not give an immediate diagnosis. The kits have to be mailed to a lab for testing. Eligible patients will need to answer a short survey before receiving a kit. According to LabCorp's website, the kit costs $119. LabCorp says the kits will be available to consumers in most states with a doctor's order in the coming weeks. A pharmaceutical company is offering a free 90-day supply of insulin to anyone who lost their medical benefits from the coronavirus outbreak. Novo Nordisk announced that offer is available through its Diabetes Patient Assistance Program. To participate, individuals must provide documentation they either lost their health care benefits or they are being offered COBRA benefits. And starting this week, Walmart is requiring employees to wear a face mask. Leaders say crews will also check workers' temperatures and make safety equipment available. Company leaders suggest customers wear masks as well. All right, to a much lighter note now. Our weather has been absolutely fantastic the past couple of days with temperatures in the mid-60s. But Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry standing by at home tonight, tracking some rain heading our way. Tom?
Yeah, I'm outside for one last day before that wet weather arrives. And, sometimes we shake our heads about the rain, but remember, we're really an agricultural community. So that rain most likely is heaven sent. The only time I hear from farmers and agricultural folks about we don't want the rain is if they're a hay farmer and they've cut the hay and they're trying to get it to cure on the ground. Too early for that to be going on right now. So I suspect that folks in the agriculture industry are happy to see a little rain move in on your Wednesday. Right now we're at 64 degrees, enjoying partly cloudy skies as we get a little bit of a prefrontal breeze pushing through the area. You can see the wind is out of the west-southwest right now at 15 miles per hour. Beautiful shot there also of downtown Spokane. Allergy index, really the only thing we're seeing measuring right now is tree pollen. And from most of the sites I was able to access, that is pretty much it. We're not seeing any weeds, grass pollen, or mold spores at this particular time. So let's get right to it and talk about your day planner forecast. Look for partly cloudy skies overnight, clouds rolling in tomorrow, rain developing certainly by about the noon hour or late morning hours. Much cooler too. We'll see daytime highs around 57 degrees. For the weekend, it's going to shape up like this. Part of the weekend will be wet. The other part of the weekend, not so much. I've got 62 and a chance of showers on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies expected on Sunday and a daytime high of 59 degrees. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast. Mark, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Tom, looking forward to that. Thank you very much. Some drivers with the Spokane Transit Authority have started doing more than transporting people. They're also delivering meals now. With so many people staying at home, they've had a lot of their time in between rides, a lot more time in between rides. So they've been partnering with Meals on Wheels. KREM 2 Shayna Waltower has the story tonight.
We jumped at the opportunity to help out.
Since Governor Inslee's stay-at-home order, drivers for the Spokane Transit Authority have been pretty light on their rides.
After the order, they stopped scheduling rides.
STA's paratransit drivers have been scheduling rides for riders with disabilities, but many of these passengers have been staying home.
That meant there was a steep drop-off in the number of people, but we still have our drivers and our vehicles available.
So these drivers decided to put this downtime to good use.
They were able to move a lot of food in a short amount of time.
Jeff Edwards, director of Spokane's Meals on Wheels, says volunteers have been passing out a week's worth of frozen food to seniors around the area. They were in need of some additional help and put out a request to STA.
Normally, that's not something that we would do, but in times of emergency, we have the latitude to do that.
So about 30 drivers have been helping the organization with their deliveries. On any given day, there are about 12 drivers and their vans visiting seniors to drop off their meals.
Truthfully, one of the only reasons that we were able to pull that massive food lift off was because of the support from STA.
With the help of the STA drivers, they've distributed more than 5,000 meals every week.
Every senior has gotten their meals. We've been able to maintain contact with every senior, and we've been able to keep our pool of volunteers safe during this time.
The ability to help people, bringing them necessary meals, it's just been the positive thing that we get to look forward to reporting.
He says these drivers will be out and willing to help until their rides start picking up again. In Spokane, Shayna Waldtower, KREM 2 News.
Fantastic story right there. All right, looking ahead until tomorrow, Spokane is celebrating Earth Day by going live. April 22nd through the 24th, millions of people around the world are going online for a 3-day mobilization aimed at stopping the climate emergency. So save the date. Organizers urge you to join the 3 days of action featuring speakers, music, protests, and more. All you need, they say, an internet connection. On your screen, you'll find the current schedule for Wednesday's events. And a Vancouver man sharing how co-workers are helping him through an unexpected work challenge, reading lips. That story's coming up after the break. And before we head to break, here's a little pep talk from the folks at Lidgerwood Elementary School. Their sign reads, "Our buildings may be empty for now, but you keep our hearts full. We are here for you." Very cool stuff. We'll be right back.